Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day. I am Sybil Wilkes. Welcome to What You Need to Know. And of course, Wednesday means it's Stephen Hill Day, and Stephen Hill from a remote location. Hello, Stephen Hill. Or not. Are you trying to be funny? Because if you are, you're doing a darn good job. Okay.
Am I back?
You're a lot of different
Am I back?
looks. We're getting a lot of different looks from you there. Did you have a sit-in while you went to get a
I'm just trying to find a
beverage?
place where there's good Wi-Fi. I'm in a place that the Wi-Fi.
Oh, I thought the Wi-Fi was incredible where you are.
I had to get another battery for the Wi-Fi. That's what it was.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, wherever you are, beautiful blue skies. Congratulations on that. And you missed the storms that made their way up the East Coast. You have successfully avoided that.
I did indeed.
Isaiio, I think is what the storm was called.
Who is picking these names, brother? Who's picking the names? Who's picking the names now? I forget. I know it's alternating boy, girl, like we used to sit in kindergarten.
Yeah, because it used to be all girls, and then they evened that out and took away the storms being named after women. But it's somewhat at the Hurricane Center that makes that call, I believe.
Right.
Has there ever been a Hurricane Stephen? Have they gotten that far down?
No, I don't think so. Let's hope they never get to the S's on. Well, they got Hurricane Sandy actually.
Yeah.
They did get Hurricane Sandy one year, so
yeah.
And there was an Xavier or something, if I remember correctly. So they get that far.
Yeah, so it has gotten down that far, but I haven't heard about Stephen or Sybil for that matter.
I just figured they figure like, well, there's already one blowhard named Stephen, so we don't need another one.
Is Mr. Trump's name Stephen? Can I just say I am so done with him. I have reached my level of Trump ridiculousness, and I'm done. I cannot wait for the next 89 days to get here and get done. And I know we shouldn't rush our lives away. I know that we should not, be rushing, trying to get to the next. But I am just so done.
I popped some Orville Redenbacher, sat down, and watched my new hero, Jonathan Swan. Completely eviscerate the president of the United States, doing what journalists should have been doing for the last 4 years, asking follow-up questions, pressing him when he says, they say, it's in the manuals. What manuals?
Can I see the manuals? Can I see
the manuals? Right. And so if people did this on a more regular basis, we'd still be here because he got elected. Like he got elected. But man, to watch the vivisection of Donald Trump by Jonathan Swan, Australian's own, made me so happy.
That was Axios, and you can go to Axios on HBO. It's also on YouTube and see that interview. And he's a fine newsman. He really is. He's a great journalist, and asking the questions that you wanted asked. But I just can't give him any more of my headspace. I can't give him any more of my oxygen. He has taken it all out of me, and I'm just ready for this to be over.
That's because you're a nice person, though.
I don't feel nice. That's
because you're a nice person. See, most people like me who are mean and cold and vicious.
That's not true. That is so not true.
I'm mean and cold and vicious. And so what I want to do is see somebody who I really can't stand suffer. You're nice. You don't want to see Trump. It doesn't give you pleasure to see Trump suffer. You still feel bad about everything else. I get great pleasure out of seeing Trump suffer and sweat and stumble and blah, 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 blah.
And what? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're, and you know what? I'm getting vertigo.
All right, I'm staying here. This is it. This is the best Wi-Fi in the house. Right here. This is the best Wi-Fi in the house. Got it. We're good.
Okay, right there, right
Right
there.
here.
How many bars?
Oh, you want bars? You want bars? Yo, what's up? Here's the flow. Me and the Sybil show. Got thing. Oh, not the kind of bar.
Save that for the podcast.
Not the bars you
From,
were looking for.
no, from ha-has to ahas with Sybil Wilkes and Stephen Hill, which we're
Later
going
on.
to record later on today. So here's another example of, I just every day, this is what we do. We go through all of the news stories that are fit to print, some not even fit to print, but they are in the air. And always demonstrations of how Black people are being mistreated. And here's another example of a horrific situation by the police in Aurora, Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
Just outside of Denver. 4 little girls being taken to a day of pampering this weekend, right? Their car was pulled over by Aurora, Colorado cops. They approached the car, guns drawn, got the little girls out of the car, and had 2 of the girls face down on the ground with their hands behind their back, cuffed behind their back. 2 other little girls face down on the ground, and they were teenagers from 6 to 17 years old. 4 of them. The older person was taken away by police, was pulled out of the car by police, and this was all, thank God, for somebody who was passing by and videotaping all of this. It was a misidentification of a car, of a vehicle.
Vehicle. Right, vehicle.
They were looking for a car with this license plate number, right? A vehicle with this license plate number.
Yeah.
Turns out there in Colorado, the vehicle they were looking for was from Montana plate, and it was a motorcycle. In the meantime, they have terrorized these young girls, these children. Untold kind of tragedy can befall them as a result of this, the trauma that is involved. They have a new interim police chief who was just approved and given the vote of approval by the city council Monday night. This was after this happened with the children. Her name is Vanessa Wilson. And so she has apologized. She's saying that the city is going to pay for whatever kind of help these children need to get past this trauma. Now, Aurora, Colorado. Where have I heard this before? 1 year
ago. I know. Ooh.
Yes, Mr. Carter.
Elijah McClain. Elijah McClain.
Yeah. That's the sad reality. Elijah McClain, 1 year ago this month. Elijah McClain, a young, sensitive Black man, 23 years old, walking home from a convenience store in Colorado in August. I know, thinking, why is he wearing a ski mask? He was, I think he was on the spectrum, right?
He was.
And so he was wearing the ski mask. The police said that there was something a little shaky about him. And so they didn't think that he had a gun. 3 police pulled him over. They took him to the ground, chokehold. He was resisting, he was saying, oh God, he was saying all the things that children who have special needs like this are told to say. Please, you're too close to me. Please don't talk to me like that. Please, I cannot help, you. Please help me. All of these things, this child, he really was a boy saying this to these men, and they took him down, chokehold. He was resisting because that's what you do. I mean, when you are that of a sensitive nature, right? And they called the emergency, the EMTs, and they came. They tried to restrain him. They gave him the drug ketamine, which is supposed to calm him. He went into cardiac arrest, and he was taken to the hospital. He went on life support. Several days later, he was taken off life support and died. This is the same city. This is the same city where this case really, and the parents, the family of this boy was trying to say, people are not hearing our story. And not until after George Floyd's case did it come out and was it given the publicity that it deserved. And then the police there, who were part of this case, they were seen taking photographs of themselves, selfies at the scene of where this boy was killed. This is the kind of crazy.
There's so many different issues around this.
Oh,
police making fun of anybody who's killed are ridiculous. But procedure is in both of these things. I still don't understand how there's a police procedure where you are allowed to put a drug into someone's body, how you're able to pierce someone's skin and introduce a substance, a very dangerous substance that, oh, by the way, it's used as a horse tranquilizer.
Yeah.
Right? And you're able to put it into somebody's system. So I'm hoping they're reviewing the procedure there.
Yeah.
And
that's just one thing. The procedure, like the chokehold, the EMTs putting the drug into him, all of this thing, that the whole procedure was wrong.
Right.
He was from the neighborhood. All they had to do was just go and try to figure out. This is why when we're talking about defunding the police and giving money to those social services that could help diffuse this situation.
Yep. And look,
and then the little girls. Okay, once you get to the car and you see you have nothing but a car full of little girls and one adult, you're going to still keep your weapons drawn and take these children out of the car and handcuff them? Really?
So here's the challenge. Here's the challenge.
Down on the ground?
Here's the challenge. That's procedure. Now, the challenge around that, procedure has to change. Like, that should not be procedure. Should be a procedure that's part of it when you find young children or something else in the car, something's got to change.
Yeah.
I understand if you get a stolen car report, you're going to go in like it's a hot. But you hate it, but that's true, because if it had been stolen, and we've all seen police videos of stolen cars going wrong when the police stop them. But what you're looking to see is like a whole bunch of girls who are 6 to 8 years old.
Man, we're going to get our nails done, and you're what?
No. So this, like other crimes, when there are cameras or when there's a lot of notoriety, that I shout out everyone who's out there making these are making policy changes, right? They're shining a light on, and they're making a very tense light. So this happened to this group of girls, so it won't happen to another group of girls ever again.
Let us pray. She did. The chief of police did say that they are reviewing the policies and the procedures and the way these things are done, and will be done in the future. And let us pray that they do that. I've had my car stolen. I've been there. When I was working overnights in Charlotte, I was the only woman on the staff, on the air staff, right? And I was doing overnights. And these guys would always do really wacky things. I came out that Saturday morning and my car was gone. I was like, oh, these wacky guys. They have picked my car up, my little Acura Integra, and they moved it somewhere. So I came upstairs. I said, you guys. And the guy that relieved me goes, what are you talking about? I said, my car. What did you guys do with my car? And so he said, I was wondering how you got here. I thought maybe, you took a taxi, you got dropped off or something. I was like, no. So I called the police. I reported my car stolen. The only thing I had in the car was my personalized bowling ball and bag and my personalized high school sweater. High school athletic sweater, right?
That one hurts.
So my name is all over, okay, in the car, right? They told me, they took down the information, they took the license plate number, blah, 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 blah. And then they told me, if you find it, give us a call.
Wait, what?
Charlotte, North Carolina police said, if you find it, give us a call. So,
did you find Sybil, did you find it?
They found it. Because I laughed so hard when they told me to give them a call. If I find the damn car, I was like, that's what you guys are here for. And they did.
Well, clearly, you should have gotten in the car to go find your stolen. Oh, I get it now. Oh, I get it. I now. I heard it when I said it. I heard it when I said it. I did. I heard it when I said it. My bad.
And when I got on the air and I told that story, and they got mad at me because I found that so ridiculously humorous that if you find it, give us a call. I was like, Barney Fife, really? Really?
Because if you let us know, it's less paperwork for us. So
yeah. And Lord knows, we got enough. We got enough. We got Clara trying to figure out how this phone system works and everything else. So it really was Andy Griffith all over again. All right. So we did have elections this week. Primary elections in a number of states, and it looks like we had some upsets. Yes, in the state of Missouri, a legacy congressman, Clay, in St. Louis, was upset by a member of the Black Lives Matter organization.
Hey now.
A Black woman.
Hey now.
And her name is Corey, and if she wins the general election, she will be the first African-American woman to represent the state of Missouri in the House of Representatives, which just boggles the mind.
Yes, it is both really good news and really bad news at the same damn time.
Okay, but it is very reminiscent of the victory that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had a couple of years ago. So it looks like we may have a new generation of squad members.
All right.
Rashida Tlaib, who is a member of the squad, appears to have won her race in Detroit. And that is the seat that she won in 2018. That was the seat that was held by John Conyers for many years. So these seats held by older Black men now going to younger women of color. Rashida Tlaib's case, as well as now she was in a run against the president of the city council in Detroit, Brenda Jones, I think. But she has managed to hold on to that, it looks like. And a lot of discussion about mail-in votes, which we know is a big bone of contention for your friend in the White House.
Well, it depends on what state you're from.
Yeah.
If you're from Nevada, no. But if you're from Florida, they've got a really great system. They have a really great system. It's this move my favorite. So this is the move, but then when he wants to really make a point, he takes the right hand and points at you, pulls it right back. Right. That's the move right there. That's the presidential, like, I know I'm lying, but if I do this, I'll lie with more authority.
Oh, you got this all. You know what? This pandemic has got to be over because you have a lot of time in which you have worked out all of the hand signals, the gestures, everything. Just really I wonder what you're going to do for a job after he loses, because remember, how all of those comedians.
I'll let you know in 4 years. I don't mean that. Humor.
I laughed. Yeah. I still have a certain amount of sense of humor left, despite what he has stolen from me. He has taken my joy and my laugh, but not all of my laughter. Yes. And so we were talking about the races and the elections that took place this week, and how some big changes are ahead of us. And our forever president, the day after his birthday, has given a number of gifts by endorsing some down ballot candidates, including a young man that he's getting a lot of great press. I saw him on a replay of the Kimmel Show last night. Jamie Harrison is the Democrat running for the U.S. Senate in South Carolina. He is one of the people in the Senate races that was endorsed by President Obama just the other day. He is also endorsing a number. Do you know this? I know you don't know everybody in New York, but surely you may have heard his story story. Jamal Bowman, he's a former educator. He's the one that beat Engel, who was the 30-year-plus congressman in the 16th congressional district. Jamal Bowman is a former educator, and he beat Elliot Engel in a long, drawn-out voting process, or actually counting process in New York's 16th district. He beat Engel. Engel had been in Congress for like 32, 33 years. And so Jamal Bowman is a big one. He got the Obama endorsement. However, AOC did not get an endorsement from President Obama, which was very interesting. And he did give endorsements.
Yet. Let's use the word yet. Let's make ourselves feel better by saying she hasn't gotten it yet.
Okay. Because you're right, because this is the first round.
I'm optimistic. Right. I'm optimistic.
Okay. Yeah.
And some could say, like, well, at this point in time, does she really need it? Like, she's on fire.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm optimistic.
Okay.
But homie, I do feel bad for homie. Like, you to be out of the job market for 32 years and all of a sudden you just plop right back into it unexpectedly. Like, homie, I mean, I know I wanted him to lose anyhow, but I still feel bad for him.
Hi.
32 years.
Hi. I don't know if you've heard.
No. I don't even know what to say now. I usually have a quick or a rapid retort, but at this point in time, I have nothing.
Okay, well, let me take the time while you're thinking of something, or perhaps we'll move on to another subject. People are saying that they are having blackouts. I take this on our broadcast here. So, and it may be on YouTube. So please refresh the page and let us see if that helps. So let us take a moment while Stephen Hill works on his pithy little retort.
Or I could just fix my Wi-Fi and it'd probably be better for everybody.
Okay. So do you want to say goodbye and then come back?
Nope.
You want to
staying right here.
Okay. Yeah, that's funny. Okay. That was worth the lack of response. Oh, is it warm in here?
It's warm here.
Okay.
It's warm here. I can tell you that right now.
What is the temperature?
Right.
Are you teasing me again?
Oh, it's 90. Oh, it's 90. Not a cloud in the sky. What? You want to see the ocean? Okay, if you insist. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go.
Okay, how many sunset pictures have you taken? Okay, Bill Cosby.
All of them. Every single one. Every single picture. Like, I've taken so many pictures that I literally ran out of film in my iPhone. That's how many pictures.
That's a lot.
That's a lot right there. That is a lot.
Is our boy still down there?
No, he took off. He's vacated the premises.
Okay. All right. Man, what a good time. Okay, so we're talking about the Obama endorsements, and as you said, first round. So as you pointed out, so we'll see. There are going to be others. What he did was wait for a lot of the primaries to take place before he handed out those endorsements, and did about 118 of them. Including, as I said, Jamal Bowman, as well as Lauren Underwood, who is a young woman from Illinois, just outside of Chicago. And she really made a big change in that district by becoming the first Democrat in I don't know how long to take over that congressional position. She's a former nurse and also worked on the Obama campaign and may have been a part of his administration. So she got endorsement from him in her reelection bid.
So what do you think? What do you think that? So Amy McGrath did not get one, right?
Yeah. Amy
Why do we think
McGrath, and also the Amy McGrath from Kentucky, and the woman from Texas. They did not get the endorsements. MJ Hagar did not get the endorsement in Kentucky or Texas because he thinks that he could hurt them by those being really strong red states. He doesn't want to endanger the possibility that they could win.
Stirring up the hornet's nest, he believed he would be doing.
Yeah, and have him be the focus of the race,
right?
And you know that's the kind of thing that the folks in the Republicans in Texas and the Republicans in Mitch McConnellville will do as well.
Yes.
So, and instead of taking that, he's taking that to kind of pressure off of them.
I don't know if you know this. But that's called strategy. It's called strategy. It's called strategy.
And do you have that in your campaign?
I have strategy. I do. You may not know this, but strategy comes from the Latin word strat, as in Stratocaster. It's a guitar. And so,
is that right?
That is where strategy comes from.
From the Latin.
Many people don't know that.
Stratocaster. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I did not know that a very nice guitar had anything to do with strategy.
And now you do. And now you do.
And now I know. And that's what I need to know. So, one of the effects of people being quarantined is the fact that they are coming out
trying to hurt everybody else in the house that causes them any kind of challenge at all, or no, that's something different. You're something different.
So this is the rise in violence and the rapid rise in gun violence in a number of cities, including my hometown of Chicago, showing that as of right now, at the end of July, in your town, New York City, recorded 777 shootings, more than it had the whole year of 2019. 1,000 shootings have happened in Philadelphia, and sadly, that is 1,000 shootings in Philadelphia, resulting in more than 240 deaths. And in my hometown of Chicago, 2,240 people have been shot through the first 7 months of this year, and that's claimed 440 lives. And they were 150 less gun deaths in that same period last year, and 760 less shootings in the city of Chicago. We do know that this is a sad time for a lot of folks on the street and in the city of Chicago and other cities. We're seeing a lot of violence and not necessarily directed, but as just a course of them being in the area where these things happen. Children are being shot at ridiculous numbers as well. And it just it makes you sad to have to report that, but this is what's going on in the age of coronavirus, and as people are coming out. But you know what? And I'm not taking anything away from the horrific situation with the gun violence. I don't understand it, and I know that something has to be done. I don't think that the answer is for the federal government to come in and to do the things that they have done on the streets of Portland. I think that is that this is something that maybe the feds could work with the cities with, but not to take over the way that they have, and just a horrific situation on the streets of Portland. But the other thing is that as people are going out and they're having these ridiculous parties, these coronavirus parties, or in some cases they're calling them white trash bashes. It's like, I was watching, this is, up in the middle of the night, and it was probably about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning in Dallas, and I got the news in ABC in Los Angeles. They were doing a live report from a very nice area in Los Angeles, Beverly Glen or someplace like that. And they had helicopters, they had drones, they had all of this stuff, and the police are trying to get in. They couldn't get into this house. This house was the party was so big, and it was so big they had not only a DJ, but they had a food truck parked in the backyard of this house, right? And primarily the ones
they're still legal. They're still legal.
Well, if they were or were not, there was a lot of stuff going on that wasn't legal because there were a lot of people there without their mask on, partying all up in each other's faces. And guess what? A lot of the party goers look like you and me. Not old people. I mean brown people. And as this was going on in California, the same thing was going on in suburban New York.
Yeah.
The same kind of thing. And what could they do? The police couldn't even get in to make any arrests or to get them to get out of there or whatever. And a lot of these places are being rented. They're still being rented out as Airbnbs and what have you. And people are having these parties.
The entitlement of American citizens is what's keeping us in this bag. It is the entitlement. We are all part of it. I am part of it. I fully admit, right? We are not used to not having our liberty. And coronavirus came in and just took everything away. And so we thought we did a good job by staying down and low for 3 or 4 months. And we did, but then we got the itch and the weather got warm. And I'm not sure about you. When I put a mask on, it's 95 degrees. I'm taking a mask off.
Yeah.
I am future mask off.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So these are just larger expositions of people who were like, okay, we stayed down long enough. We stayed down long enough. And the unfortunate truth is that it's not long enough. This is going around. Going back to the gun violence, which is tragic. It is the one situation I think where everybody is right. It is happening because AOC's you tie poverty to violence. Check. It's happening because the police departments are under siege, however you want to define that, in negative or positive. Check. Police are feeling like, well, why am I going to bother if we're under siege? Check. Everybody who has a reason for this, who keeps saying, no, it's this reason, no, it's this reason, it is absolutely, in my opinion, it is all of these reasons compounding to make a horrible situation much, much, much worse. Everybody's right.
Yeah.
Which is wrong.
It's just so. What are the concessions you have made as a result of the virus and wearing a mask? Are you still working out? Are you going to the gym? Are you doing things like that?
Gym's closed. And my first, I don't forget what week we're in. Are we in 18, 19? I don't know. My first 9 weeks I was locked, as you know. The first 9 weeks I was locked down. I literally saw nobody that I knew for 9.5 weeks. Shout out to Mickey Rourke and Kim Bessinger. But since then, I admit that since I was, you had COVID already, Stephen. I still wear the mask. My concern is now, okay, if I'm an asymptomatic carrier, then I want to make sure that I wear my mask because your mask protects others from you. Right. And so especially when I'm in indoor places around a lot of people, I wear the mask. I get tested more than I probably would. So the concessions for me is around testing, wearing the mask, especially inside, and being really aware of where the number of people I'm around at any point in time.
Yeah.
And yourself?
I'm still wearing masks, and even as warm as it is here in Dallas Fort Worth, and actually, this has really been not the worst summer ever, as far as the weather is concerned. But it is. I refuse not to. I mean, sometimes I'm in my car and I get out of the car and I'm like, oh shoot. Because I always keep a mask around like the rear view mirror and stuff like that. I'll go right back. One time I did get into Walmart and the lady's like, and she gave me a mask and it was very nice, but I didn't trust it. So I went back to my car and got my own. No disrespect, and I really appreciate your giving them out. But I cannot go without it. Even if I just think that if Dr. Fauci says do it, I'm doing it.
Yeah, there you go.
And whatever that other guy says do, I'm doing the opposite. So
what you don't understand is that opposite is actually from sit, right? Sit, which is a command given to a dog. You don't know this. You know this. So Oppo was a German commandant who I became very good friends with back in the Third Reich. I don't want to talk about it. So it's really like German sit, go home. You didn't know that.
Now, the one thing I don't do, you are so silly. The one thing I don't do is what Dr. Burke has said to do, and that is that we should be wearing them at home. What do you think? And you're living, you are quarantined alone, as far as we know. But if you were, right? But if you were, do you think you would wear the mask at home?
So first of all, Dr. Burks has an advantage to all of us. Like wherever she goes, she has a mask. She just flips the scarf up. Boom. There it is. Right. Just, yeah. She got to carry nothing. She ain't not it doesn't need a purse. Just flip it right up.
Mm-hmm.
Do I carry a mask? I carry a mask wherever I go. Yeah. Yes. No. You were asking me if I keep my mask with me.
Would you wear it at home if you were quarantined with someone else? Like let's just say no. You had to go to DC and quarantine with your mom.
Wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. My mother is the last person I would quarantine with for so many reasons.
That's a whole nother show.
but we'll go with coronavirus.
Okay.
Seriously, I would not. No, nothing could make me quarantine with my mom simply because of any kind of danger. There's no danger that I would take to her. So it's hard to take that as a hypothetical because I wouldn't do that. Now, if there was somebody I wanted to quarantine with, I'd want to go through the whole. Okay, we got to quarantine together for 14 days. Then we got to both got to get tested, and hope that we're both, hope we're both negative. I mean, like. It wouldn't be the first time, so. Yeah.
I'm not mad at her for suggesting that, and I think especially because we see a lot of families, multi-generational families, and seeing a lot of stories now of family members who have been on the front lines and have come home every day, and for whatever reason they have taken their mask off or at some moment, and they believe and now living with the guilt of giving a family member the virus and spreading it to a family member, and I'm not mad at that for them, trying to do that, and it's so hard. These stories are just so heartbreaking. And when you see these people, men and women alike, who are sharing this story, like we had the face of coronavirus in the newsletter the other day, and this is a young man. He's a high school football player. All three of his members of his family, his mom, and his dad, they all got coronavirus. He was asymptomatic, and he lost both his parents.
Ooh.
An only child and a high school student, and now he goes to live with relatives.
Look, we have some laughs around this, but this is really serious, and it's increasing in some areas. Like we're in some places we're worse than we were 3 and 4 months ago. And I know we're tired. Look, everybody's tired of doing this. I'm not gonna lie. Part of the reason I came down here is because I feel free in this environment by myself. I don't have to worry about a mask. Once I got all the groceries inside, because it's that type of atmosphere. But it was Corona driven, and I encourage everybody else, however you got to drive yours. When I get back to home, I'll be masked up and staying in my apartment and trying to do push-ups on the floor because Sybil kind of called me out for not going to the gym earlier. I saw what you did there. I saw what you did. Oh, do you take those little wimpy arms with you wherever you go?
What?
You kind of said that in a little way, like in a way.
Really say that?
In a way, you kind of said that. The only exercise you get is it running off at the mouth and jumping to conclusions.
You have mistaken me with another Sybil, sir.
No.
I don't know. Don't make me cough or sneeze on you.
By the way, sneeze on me all you want. Sneezing not a symptom of COVID. Sneeze, sneeze, sneeze. You cough at me, we fight. Oh, thank goodness the Wi-Fi doesn't work.
But are you finding that even if you do have truly have sinuses or something like that, and that you have a drip, and you're trying to restrain your cough or whatever because you don't want to scare people or to alarm them? Have you been through that?
So sometimes when I wake up, I naturally cough. It's just a thing that I do.
Mm-hmm.
On the plane on the way down here, I swear to God that part of my ears started coming out of my ears to stop myself from coughing, because you cough on a plane.
Right.
You cough on a plane, they're like, where are the parachutes? Where are the parachutes?
Yeah. Let's open that emergency exit that you're sitting next to. Yeah. It's really, and you can't tell people, it's just a cough. It's not true.
Sure, it's just a cough, Mr. Hill. Sure, it's just a cough.
Okay, so the last story I want to talk to you about of the first part of our newsletter is this young man, the Orlando Magic whiz kid who is now sidelined, Jonathan Isaac, who was the only member of the NBA teams to stand during the national anthem as they were there at the first game. And everybody else wore a Black Lives Matter t-shirt. Everybody else took a knee, linked arms. This African-American man, Jonathan Isaac, chose not to. Standing for the national anthem while players and coaches kneeled during this, what Adam Silver called unified demonstration. He also announced that he would waive a longstanding rule that required players to stand. Well, apparently they did not tell that to Jonathan Isaac, or he just doesn't care. But by the same token, as he's explaining himself, he also had a major injury on Sunday. And says that he still doesn't think that demonstration was the answer. He says, I believe Black Lives Matter. Kneeling while wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt doesn't go hand in hand with supporting Black lives. I don't think kneeling or putting on a t-shirt for me personally is the answer. I feel like for me, Black lives are supported through the gospel. All lives are supported through the gospel. We're not saying that all lives don't matter, young man. We are talking about Black lives that don't seem to matter to people. And sounding a lot like some of these preachers that we hear at these churches, these mega churches with white preachers and white membership. They say we all have things that we do wrong. Sometimes it gets to the place of pointing fingers. We all fall short of God's glory. Whoever will humble themselves and seek God and repent of their sins, we can see their mistakes and people's mistakes and evil in a different light. Racism isn't the only thing that plagues our society, but damn it, that's what we're talking about right now, son.
So I see what you did there, Sybil. What you did there was tee it up so we can say to people, hey, what you really want to do is check out From Ha-Has to Ahas with Sybil Wilkes and Stephen Hill this weekend, because we're going to talk about this and probably use language that we won't use now.
I mean, you can use language now, but yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. And if I offended you, young Mr. Isaac, and saying, damn it, I apologize.
I don't think that was the word. It was the word that was going to drip off of my lips next. No, look, I wish he had a different stance. Part of kneeling is the ability to not kneel if you don't want to.
Right.
But you get the consequences of not kneeling, which is, people turn at you like this, and maybe you don't get to go to all the family cookouts anymore. Right? Or any, you don't get to, you can't go back.
Or else if Becky is taking you to the cookout, you don't really care anyway.
You can't go backstage to Public Enemy show anymore. So, there's certain things you can't do anymore.
Or if your neighbor Karen is asking you to do some things around her house, then perhaps okay, never mind.
Or if your wife Karen, did you say if your wife Karen? Did you what? Is that what you said, Sybil?
I said next door neighbor, but I'm thinking that she could be
coming over to get some sugar.
Just 1 cup. So
today.
We are going to close this out, and we are going to move. We're going to move to the podcast part of our production facility.
Let me move to mine right now.
Okay.
All right, there we go. I'm good.
Okay, let me do that too. Okay.
Very different vista. Very different vista.
Okay, so thank you so much, Stephen Hill.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And for folks who want to hear us, you can go to any of your podcast platforms and subscribe to From Ha-Has to Ahas with Sybil and Steve. We thank you for joining us here every Wednesday. Tomorrow, we will be here with the great George Wallace on Thursdays. And George will also be with us in this podcast coming up too, talking about being caught up in the quarantine and alone, and what it's doing to our heads, to our minds, to our psyches. Yeah. So thank you all very much.
Some people don't know this, by the way, but quarantine is actually a mixture of quarter and Ovaltine. Ovaltine is how much quarter was how much Ovaltine cost, and so quarantine is how much you should have Ovaltine in your quarters.
I can't even ask you what I was going to ask you then. Okay, because I was wondering how much hydroxychloroquine goes into a quarantine.
Let me break this out for you, Sybil.
Bye. Bye, everybody. See you
later on.
Please be careful, and we'll see you on the podcast side.